Hey everybody, it's Ashley Ray from Let's Talk LetsTalkRaceStyle.com, and today is a good day. I just wanted to bring a little thought and commentary to everything that's going on. I started my blog in 2014, March of 2014, and from the very beginning, I have been having these discussions and writing about police brutality against Black people, brutality from white Americans against Black people. And I have literally been stating that a revolution is coming and that we are not going to continue to take this abuse, right? Everybody thought that I was tripping. I'm crazy. A revolution? A war? What? I mean, let's face it. You cannot constantly abuse a group of people and expect the trauma that you enforce on them to be silenced, to go unnoticed, and most importantly, to never treat the mental condition in which you inflicted on these people. When I say you, I mean the government, in which they have inflicted on Black people for generations. And guess what? We decided that we were tired of the nonsense. And now people are, making comments about, oh, they shouldn't be rioting. They shouldn't be looting. First of all, I don't want to hear anything about looting or even rioting, whatever you want to call it. Let's start with rioting. It's okay for everyone to riot when they're fighting for their freedoms, except for Black people. Never forget that America was Team Ukraine when they had a riot against their government. And the most recent, I believe, was Egypt, which was a few years ago when the people of Egypt were fighting for their freedoms. The United States felt that that was fine. But when it comes to Black America, we are supposed to lay down and keep taking it. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to take it. Never, 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 never. Let me tell you something. My ancestors were not the ones telling on slaves trying to get free. Now, from some of the things that I have read and seen, we can tell that some people's ancestors were literally telling the master on the slaves that talks about freedom or spoke in their own language or did anything that slaves weren't supposed to do. This is not that. We can no longer lay down and take it. And I, for one, am very proud of every city that has protested, whether it be peaceful or not, because nothing inflicted on us has been peaceful. Let's just start there. I asked a very valid question the other day on Facebook because there were a lot of people in Detroit, which is where I am, which is where I'm from, who kept making posts about, let's not mess up downtown. We don't need that. Don't go messing up downtown. Now, I'm not telling anybody to do anything besides what you feel is right and in that moment. However, my question was, what part of downtown do you guys own? What business do you own downtown? And mostly people just laughed at the comment or liked the comment because at the end of the day, if your last name is not Ilitch, if you're not part of the Ilitch family in Michigan, or if you're not affiliated or associated, or if you're not Dan Gilbert himself, you don't own anything downtown. They barely even want us downtown. When downtown was a thing that Black people had, and when I say had, I mean had a lot of businesses down there, clubs, restaurants, whatever, you name it. Downtown was a thing that other cultures or ethnicities of people didn't want to be bothered with. But then when they sell it, because that's basically what they did, oh, now downtown is so great, it's so nice, it's so this and so that. And if you've been down there recently, you know exactly what the hell I mean when I say that other people look at you like you don't belong there. No, you got me all wrong. Fast forward. The autopsy of George Floyd. Okay. So we get one autopsy from the city's medical examiner, right? And of course it says, oh, it was really from natural causes. It wasn't from another human being laying their entire body weight on a man's neck with their knee, which causes asphyxiation. Nope, that wasn't it. It was his underlying health issues, but I'm sure him being face down on the ground with someone's knee in his neck didn't help. Guess what? Anybody who read that, we already knew that was a lie, and we know that game. We know that game well when it comes to medical examiners, especially in Detroit, and I'll touch back on that in just a second. So today, a separate private autopsy was done, and of course it says that he died from asphyxiation. This is a no-brainer. But see, when you continuously try to play people like we're stupid, and we continue to let people do this and let them think that we're stupid, if we never say anything, they'll just continue on with this game. That's the system of America, right? So that's a lie. So as someone pointed out, shouldn't the medical examiner be punished? Shouldn't he be going to prison? Not only should the medical examiner be punished or in prison, but the person, whoever gave him that direction, and I'm dying to know who that is, whoever gave him the direction to botch that autopsy should be in trouble as well. So when I say we know about that firsthand in Detroit, there's a such thing called as the Malice Green beating. Malice Green was beat to death by a group of police officers. One of the former, I can't remember exactly what Mike Duggan's title was at that time. Mike Duggan is Detroit's current mayor. But during the Malice Green beating, Mike Duggan was sued by the Wayne County medical examiner for trying to force him to say that Malice Green died from a cocaine overdose when it was really from being beat to death. So let me say that again. Our current mayor of Detroit was sued in the 90s for threatening the Wayne County medical examiner to say that a man who was beaten to death by police officers died from a cocaine overdose. So you're going to try to make somebody say this is what happened in order to get police officers off the hook. So that's what I mean. And people forget that. And I understand that it's easy to forget because we were actually, when I say we, I mean people in my age group were actually children during this time. But that's why it's important to investigate who you vote for, because this is public information. When I say public, I mean you can go look for it, but everyone is too lazy to do that. Everything doesn't come up on Google. Google is not an accurate way of doing research. You do know that. Google is an algorithm. Just like Facebook has an algorithm and Instagram has an algorithm, Google is an algorithm. So keep that in mind when you're telling somebody about researching information. Enough of that. Breonna Taylor. Now, yes, I know the focus has mainly been for George Floyd and, people before him, but we also must keep Breonna Taylor in the spotlight. We got to try to bring the light closer because they have really been keeping this under wrap. She was murdered on March 13th in her apartment, and we really just started talking about her, I want to say May. Like, that's how well they were able to keep it under wraps. I can't remember at this moment when I actually posted an article about her. But this is key information, And then they arrested her boyfriend who was in the home with her, who you can listen to his 911 call. He said, someone came in here, broke in my home, basically. And he started shooting at them, which it was the police, which he didn't know that because they had a no-knock warrant. They didn't state who they were, which I don't even understand how that's possible to have. But that's Kentucky. I don't know much about their laws. But it's just really ridiculous that these things continue to go on. And the carelessness of the Louisville Police Department. They lived in an apartment. You just come in there spraying bullets. There are other people who are connected to their homes and they have bullet holes as well in their homes now because you don't care. You just start spraying bullets. And for that matter, the same thing, I believe her name was Aiyana Jones. She was a 7-year-old little girl who, she would be 17 today, had the Detroit police not come into her house, and shot and killed her, 7 years old. And it's not like they didn't know that a child lived in the house because they had been staking out the house for days. So you knew that it was a child there. You knew that it was multiple children that were there often because it was the grandmother's home. And that police officer did not go to prison. He did go to trial, but he wasn't charged. He wasn't convicted, rather. You know, these things don't go away. And they just keep adding on and adding. Like, the list of names that are coming to my mind right now are really driving me crazy. One that I'm going to always hold near and dear to my heart is Tamir Rice. A 12-year-old little boy lost his life because black children are not allowed to be kids. And that's just the bottom line. You can't play with a toy gun. No one's going to ever give you the benefit of the doubt. You're automatically guilty. The police officer pulled up spraying people. The shit is, it's not people, him, the little boy. You know, it's just ridiculous. So for those of you that are against protesting, you're against rioting, you're against the movement that is happening right now, you either going to get down or you're going to lay down. It's just that simple. Because at the end of the day, we have to understand that our people, once again, I stated this before, have never been able to progress without some type of violence. And as Tamika Mallory so eloquently put it, we learned violence from the people who have constantly inflicted us with violence. And unfortunately, that's the government in white America. It's sad, but it's true, you know? So you don't have to agree with what's happening. But at the end of the day, you have to stand with your people. That's just what it is. You have to be a united front. I don't agree with every single thing. No one does. But at the end of the day, if this is what's going to get the job done, because no one was arrested. The officer wasn't arrested until people start tearing things up, unfortunately. Until we decided enough was enough. Nothing was going to happen. And if we have to continue to do this from days on and days on, that's just what it is. Because at the end of the day, this level of systematic racism has to be broken down and restructured altogether. And I'm not willing to be at the bottom of that restructure. So whatever it is that I have to do to accompany, whether it's a political party, starting a new political party, whatever the case may be, we just cannot go back to the same system that continuously inflicts this trauma upon our community. On top of our trauma goes untreated, or in most cases, it's so much trauma that you never get a chance to heal from the previous trauma. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but trauma doesn't have to happen directly to you. You hearing about the trauma is enough. So that's why when you hear about another police killing of an unarmed black person, you feel bubbliness in your stomach almost, or you get a headache. Like that is your body responding to the trauma, because you just never know how close it's going to be. But on top of that, you're just tired of it. You're tired of having to constantly think about whether, you know, your boyfriend, husband, son, brother, uncle, grandfather, sister, daughter, cousin, etc. is going to make it home on this particular day. Because we don't know. It's bad enough that, you know, death is the only thing that is promised to us in this life. But it's a whole nother thing when that's escalated because of how society views you. How society views you based off of your skin. I'm just tired of it. So as I said, you know, you don't have to agree with everything, but what you have to do is stand with your people. And I need you to be helping on some level. I'm so tired of seeing these posts. Again, I'm in Michigan. I'm so tired of seeing these posts saying, you all need to be protesting in Dearborn. Let me tell you something. If you want to protest in a specific city other than Detroit, I'm with that. But what you need to do is organize that protest. Don't sit online talking about it. Organize a protest. If you want to protest in Dearborn, guess what? I'm there. Because the Dearborn police killed Janet Wilson a couple of years ago, trying to leave Fairlane Mall, which is in Dearborn. Guess what? I showed up for that protest. I also protested in Dearborn Heights, which is another small city outside of Detroit, when not a police officer, but a white man killed Renisha McBride. So don't come at me, or anyone for that matter, with what they should be doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't say where something should be. If you want a protest in a certain area, if you want to protest a certain group of police officers, I'm with that. Put it together. Tell me what time to be there. I'll be there, because I'm not just speaking about it. I am about it. You know, like I'm not one of these people who just sit online and do nothing and complain. That's not me at all. And you can ask about me as far as I'm concerned. But stop this. Stop saying what people should be doing. What are you doing? What are your contributions to your people? Let me know. And I'm serious about that. If you want to create a protest, or not create, but organize a protest in a specific city in Michigan, please let me know. Let me know what time. I'll be there, and I'll also pass the information along to other organizers and other individuals that I know that participate in protests on a regular basis. Listen, we're getting ready to create a new normal. So, you have to do something. You have to do something. Again, our people have never been able to create real effective change without getting real down and dirty. You have to put in the work. And the work is being put in right now. We're just waiting to see what the end result is going to be. All right, guys, that's all for me. Thank you for watching letstalkraystyles.com. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe to this video if you wish. Pass it along. Smooches.